Howdy, all Multilax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Weird thing. I don't remember what I was doing. Ooh, I died, right? I got killed trying to get gas for my motorcycle. So I must have made it all the way back here. Because I was looking for... Right, the burnt biome. Yeah, that's what I was doing. So I guess we'll continue that today a little bit. While I chit-chat, wander around looking for coal. Hopefully not getting wrecked by zombies. Remember to put down I had to look to see if that was a store. Try not to get wrecked. Like I did last time, where I underestimated the zombies that were in that store. I really just thought they were regular zombies. Turned around, walked out, got killed from behind. Because they came running at me. It wasn't even nighttime yet. I wasn't prepared with my, when I have like 20 hit points. Yeah, it's, I was trying to think. Man, I'll tell you what. So I make videos, right? Obviously, if you're watching this, then you know I make videos. And, I don't know what the deal is, but when I don't have the best internet, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. And so uploading is a long process for me. I have what they call ADSL, asynchronous DSL, which means that your speeds are different. Synchronous DSL would mean that my download and my upload speeds are the same amount, but a lot of DSL out here in the middle of nowhere, if you can even get it, is asynchronous. And so I have a 10 meg download, but I only have a 768K upload because you don't need as much upload usually, right? The average person does not need huge upload speeds. Now, obviously, it is not. You know, I came way farther out here than I intended. I was going to turn north back in that previous town, and I did not do it. But anyways, so uploading is a long process for me, and so I do it at night. Like right before I go to bed, I tell my videos to upload and let them upload overnight. Most of the time, they're finished before I get up. So I can often get 2 videos uploaded in a night, which is terrible, right? Because I have such slow upload speeds. What's crazy is that the upload speeds change because you've only got the one line coming in, and so your download speed is reduced and your upload speed is reduced when the other is being used. And so I also let my Steam uploads happen at nights. And so if there's nothing on Steam downloading, then I definitely am getting my videos uploaded. Well, I say definitely, but I should get my videos uploaded. Bam. And so, oh man, what's up with this? This is the weirdest map ever. Like, I am so used to these maps just going on forever to the, like, the road systems, but this one is like all the roads you go a little ways and then they just end. Like I'm back over here, and I mean, look at this road. There's nothing even connected to it. This map has got some of the weirdest generation I have seen in a long time. Anyways, so so then we come to the uploader, right? So if I use the classic uploader, I get really good upload speeds. But if I use the new uploader, it's slow. It's terribly slow. And so they're getting rid of the old uploader and switching to the new uploader. So I don't know what that's going to mean for my videos. I know I was doing 2 sets of videos, and I really don't. I mean, I intend to continue Rustic Waters to the end, which is what was my second one. But I took a break this week. I needed a break. I know it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but in the end, it's several hours of work to get videos prepped. It's around an hour a video, and so and that does not include the recording session. So if I record a video and I go long-winded, well, there's 40 minutes, and then you add an hour on that, that's an hour and 40 minutes. And if I do a second video, well, man, there's another hour and 40 minutes. That's like 3 hours in a night. A little over 3 hours. And, oh, you know what? There's a road back there. I probably should have explored that road. And so, I needed a break. Oh, it's a dirt road. It's not a real road. Well, this isn't gonna take me to burnt biome, probably. And so man, I'll tell you what. So last Thursday, I started my upload. I usually start my uploads pretty early. Like it's not when I go to bed. It's usually like 10 or 11 p.m. when I'm done, figure everybody else is in bed. I don't want to throttle our internet down. So I started the upload, and 7 Days to Die is usually a large file compared to some of the other ones. Look, it just ends. A dirt road that didn't lead to anything. And so I think it was last Thursday, I start my upload of 7 Days to Die. And I get up the next day. It is only uploaded like 25%. By the time I went to bed that night, it was only to 75%. It took over 25 hours to upload using the new uploader. So, of course, I add in the next video to the queue. And it doesn't queue them either, which is weird. It tries to upload them both at the same time. So now I've got 2 videos uploading on Friday night. Because I thought, well, maybe it'll finish that one and then, it'll get both of them, and then I can get caught back up on my 1 video a day like I do. And so then when I get up on Saturday, it still hasn't finished uploading, right? The 7 Days to Die video. I guess it was more than 25 hours. It still wasn't done, right? So I didn't get a video at all on Friday, because 25 hours would have been still the same day. So it was Saturday when I got up, I guess, and 7 Days to Die had finished, and whatever was next, Better Than Wolves was still uploading, had got to like 37% or something. I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty good. Maybe that'll finish today. No, no. Okay, so this is not a bookstore or anything, but this usually has books in it. Can't remember what button to turn my headlamp on here. Is there a door open on this place? I never seem to be able to find one. That's terrible. I'll go through this board up window. It'll be faster. A lot faster. And so yeah. So then okay, I already knew that one. I don't know this one though. Polymer string mod. It must be for bows, right? And so so then, you know, it took like the whole next day, or the whole rest of the day before it finally finished uploading the Better Than Wolves. And then this is so bizarre to me. So then Sunday, I had told to upload my Infitech video, right? And still using the new uploader because you can't shut it off and start over with the other. Okay, no, let me rephrase that. You can't continue the new uploader video using the classic uploader. And so the only way to upload with the new uploader is with the new uploader. Why, I don't know. They go to the same part. They're named the same thing, or maybe they don't go. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe they don't go to the same servers. And so when I got up on Sunday, my Better Than Wolves video had finished uploading, but my Infitech video had not. So Better Than Wolves is already like 2 days behind, I think, at this point. Or no, a day behind, right? It should have gone up on Saturday, and it did not. And so it goes up on Sunday. Oop. They surprised me. And so there's nothing in there that's useful to me. So then I have to stop it because we've got stuff going on. And so I stop it, and I don't have it running most of the afternoon because people are awake and using it. Well, then when it gets to dinner time, I'm like, okay, I'll run this at dinner time and just let it and so I started back up. Would you believe that it was at like 78% when I started it at dinner time, and by the time dinner was over, it was done using the new uploader? Like, I don't even understand. Like, it had spent all that time from the previous day trying to upload and only made it to 75%, 78%, something like that. And then in like an hour, it finished the other 22%. Like what? What? I don't understand. My internet did not change. The quality of my internet did not change. Everybody's still using the internet. So why did it suddenly find the ability to upload? It's something on their end. I don't understand. Or something on the connection between where I live and where their servers are at. Something does not work right when I'm using that new uploader. It's crazy. Uh, so, yeah. So then last night I just used the classic uploader, and of course I forgot to start my video until way late. My video is bigger in size than it normally is for some reason, slightly, a couple hundred megabytes, and but I used the classic uploader, and when I got up today, it was totally uploaded and ready to go. Because I used the classic, and the classic is fast. Alright, did I park my bike? And I don't know why that is. It's very weird to me. It's a very, very weird thing. I might want my ladders. I guess I don't really want anything out of that but the light mod, right? Alright, still have not found coal. Alright, looks like I got a long trek back trying to find a way farther north here. Yeah, it's annoying. I'm hoping we're gonna try maybe and see if we can get like a second line, maybe here. At least find out how much it costs and try and decide on that. I was hoping that Starlink stuff would be fairly active this year, and I could swap over to that, which is supposed to be up to gigabit speed up and down through satellites with low ping, which is the thing that stops me from using satellite stuff now. Because we play a lot of games. You can't play games with high ping, and satellites are notorious for their high ping because of their height, their distance, whatever you want to call it, how far they are out into space. And so the new Starlink satellites are closer, so they're supposed to be super low ping, at least not super low, but on par with what I have now, and which isn't always the greatest, and but much faster than what I currently have, and so I was kind of looking forward to maybe switching to that, but with all the stuff that's going on, I don't know how soon that's going to be a reality. And then with my sister now working from home most of the week, our internet is even more taxed than it was before. Everybody's here, everybody's online, nobody's at work. Well, I mean, we're at work, my sister and I, working from home. I mean, it's not like she's not. She's teleconferencing, telemedicine, or you call it. And but you know, when you get me on here with my job and stuff, and which is online from home, and you get my sister now online from home most days of the week, and you know, school. There's no school for the niece and nephew, and the brother-in-law is home because his job's only a couple of days a week, and yeah, it's a poor internet that barely works. Another random dead end that doesn't lead anywhere. Weird. Weirdest gen I've seen. I've only got 3 biomes. But yep, so phone and internet and stuff's in my sister's name, so said she was gonna call sometime this week maybe and talk to him, see if we get like a second line or something. Uh, Ooh, and I saw we've been trying out the Avari a Avray maybe um, Dicebot for Discord, which now links to your well, it doesn't link, but it'll let you import your D&D Beyond character sheets for Dungeons and Dragons, and been trying that out on my play-by-post game. I like it. It's pretty sweet. The because D&D is all about dice rolls and numbers, right? And so one of the things you got to keep doing is, especially in a play-by-post game where you don't constantly have the character sheet in front of you, is having to load up the character sheet to see what your information is. And so one of the cool things, I think, is the system allows you to just type in the word check and then the check you want to run. And so, like, if you want to do a perception check to see what you can see, like tracking someone or something, or looking around a room for specific things that aren't obviously out in the open, then you just type in check perception, and it goes to your character sheet, which is linked to your name, and then it comes back with the information from your character sheet, and you don't even have to remember what it is. It does it for you. It's pretty sweet. Or like you can type in attack, and it will give you a list of your weapons that are available, and you just select the weapon you want to attack with, and bam, it gives you all the information on what you rolled, what the damage was, all that. It's nice. I was using Dice Parser. We still actually have it loaded. I like it as a straight up dice roller. I think it does an excellent job. I actually like its command structure better than Avray, but Avray links to the character sheet, and so you don't have to type in the commands to check. But if I was just rolling the dice, I would probably use the Dice Parser commands, because I think they're a little easier to use than Avray. But I know I talked about how we were going to try that out, and we have, and it's working pretty good. We've gone through a combat, I think, and yeah, they I have a problem with them where they won't commit, and so they'll say a lot of things like "I think we should" or "I would like to," or not "I would like to," but Uh, maybe we should. There we go. Maybe we should. So, like, they just fought their way through a spider den in a set of, basically they're in the sewers, but they're in, like, the main sewers, and so they're huge tunnel system, and they're using the tunnel to sneak underneath of the battle that's taking place overhead, and so they fought through some spiders, which I thought played out pretty fun. Um, okay, now see, this dirt road did end with something. I'm gonna cut across though to this other road that claims is here. Let's see where this leads. And so then the thief, he scouts ahead, and so it's not too. Oop, oop, oop. There's nothing here but a pond. It's not too far from getting to the city they're headed toward. And because what we're doing is the post-apocalyptic game, right? And so I'm going to cut across country here, I think, which is dangerous because I don't have a lot of fuel. I need to stop and wreck some cars. And so they're in a real place in the world. And so they're in a tunnel system, but like things have changed, and so I was looking on the map where what was between where they were at and where they were going, and so there's a little town, and so I'm like, okay, so it's been 1,000-ish years. I'm like, the town, earthquakes, volcanoes, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, this town is underground now, or at least not totally underground, but partially underground and accessible through these tunnels. And so that's what they've come upon. And so the thief, he scouts ahead, and he's like, I tell him how he sees a glow ahead, and so one of the cool things I think that can happen with our play-by-post is that we have private channels, and so anytime they split off from the party or anytime they do a check that only their character can see, I always do the information in the separate channels. So we play out this little thing where the rest of the party can't see, and so they're left behind, right, in the dark, waiting for the thief to come back. And so this is why I think it's so cool. So the thief goes ahead and he sees these three guys sitting at a table playing cards outside, well, just inside this big tunnel mouth. And I tell him overhead is a sign with the name of the town, and so I have him roll a history check to see if his character's ever heard of the town, because it's outside of their normal area. So, like, yes, they definitely would have heard of all the towns inside of where they live, but they might not have heard about this small underground town. There aren't towns where they live, there's cities where they live. So they definitely have heard of the different cities in the nation, I guess, that they're in. But they definitely might not have heard of this place. In fact, only one character rolled higher than an 8. And so I figure about a 12-ish. It's close to the cities, but you know, if you're not on the know, you don't know about this small town. And so a 10 would be common knowledge, so it's slightly harder than common knowledge. Nobody rolled higher than an 8 except for the thief, and so I'm like, so you know that this town exists. It's kind of a old west style, you know, rough and tumble small town. And I don't know if he just didn't read it, but he's definitely ignoring that I said it. And then he's like asking me all these questions And I'm like, it sounds like he's going to attack these guys because they're goblins and hobgoblins, but in my world, that's just mutated humans, and so they're not immediately evil like in old school D&D. And so I'm like, I just would like to point out before you attack these guys that you have seen goblins and hobgoblins, and they live amongst people. They're just people. They just look different. Unless your guys, got a problem with that. And it's like, oh, all right. And so he goes back and he tells the party that he saw two hobgoblins and a goblin up ahead, and what they should do about it. And so then I have to, like, I told him they're sitting at the tunnel that leads into the town. He knows about the town, right? Their weapons are undone and leaning against the table. They're playing cards. Um, I to me, that spells out guard posts. And so they're just the guys at the tunnel entrance guard post, right? And so for whatever reason, he has ignored all the information I gave him. And so he's trying to determine if they should attack those guys or not. And then he says, maybe we should talk to them peacefully. And I'm like, oh great, here's another round of can't straight out say what our characters are doing. And so someone else goes, yeah, maybe we should talk to them peacefully. And I'm like, ugh. So I have to push him along. And so I'm like, you hear him call out, hey, I don't remember what names I used, but they had found two goblins dead in the spider tunnel. I didn't know ahead of time that I was even going to have this guard post or anything like that. I don't usually plan that far ahead. So I'm like, oh, well, I can use those two guys as maybe scouts that they sent. And so, I called out for him, and then they're like, ooh, here's daggers. I pass out daggers to everyone in the group just in case they demand that we turn over our weapons. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what is going on with this group, but like nothing has happened to them to make them untrustworthy. I think you're playing too much other D&D. And so they finally have come face to face with the three guards and are in the middle of a little conversation. But yeah, I guess just real quick, I wanted to talk about D&D rolls. I talked earlier about rolling for perception, and one of the things that I've learned and come across in my playing and DMing is perception rolls are used too much. I feel like I play in a game on Wednesdays that I usually talk about on here, and our DM on there makes us roll for everything. Like every little thing is a roll of some kind, or he just takes control and says what happens. Those are basically your only two options with him. And so I do feel that like the scout, right? He comes around and he's hiding, so obviously he has to roll for stealth to see if he remains hidden. So he rolled really good stealth, so sure, he's hidden. But if you just look around the corner and you see three guards, some things are going to be pretty obvious. And I don't think you need a perception. I mean, like if you're applying the perception, like, oh, well, you note that these they roll perception, he rolls good perception, you're like, you note that their weapons are covered in blood and the body of a small child is laying nearby or something, rather than just you see three guys sitting at a table. Sure, I mean that's fine. I'm not saying that there isn't reasons to roll perception, but I think it's up to the player to say I want to look at the, if he was like I want to see what the quality of their armor is or something like that. Something where they need more information than what's just generally seen. Sure, that makes sense to me. Why is my guy... Will you just stop being so thirsty today? And, but some things are just seen. Like, I'm driving through this town, I can see that there's snow, I can see that the buildings are rubbles. I don't need a perception check to see what's going on. I can see this sign, navigating survivors, right? Oh, and then it just ends. What is going on with the world gen, man? It's all super hilly and cliffy, and all the roads just end. Like I don't know. I maybe I don't get a biome where coal is easy to get my hands on, or maybe I don't know where coal comes from. One of those two things has happened to me here. There are some rocks, right? Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I need to break the rocks, and the rocks will tell me what's underneath of them. I don't remember. I remember looking this up once before, but I don't remember. But yeah, so if you're DMing, it's not necessary to always roll. It's okay to give your players information. I really hate how many times I have to roll for things that I think should just obviously be there. Uh, like I can see that this building is a Shotgun Messiah factory. I don't need to roll a perception to see if my character noticed the big sign that says Shotgun Messiah. I think he's obviously going to be aware of that. Or like those two tires back there, right? Now, if I want to know the quality of the tires, then maybe I would roll to see if I could figure out if they were any good. Um, that might be a little more something. Or, you know, the other one I'm not quite sure I understand. I'm going to end on this, is the difference between using perception and investigation. I know what it says in the book, but I've never seen it applied the way it says in the book in games that I play. And our DM on Wednesday night, he alternates them. And because I don't think he has the slightest idea what the difference is between them. And sometimes I think that one is a difficult one to determine between, because perception is what you can sense with your senses, and investigation is what you use your brain to think about. But what happens when you're checking for traps? I think it's a perception, and our DM alternates between the two, whatever he feels like at that given moment. Often if you have a character like a rogue, they will they're two different stats, which really sucks for our rogue, and so he has to put points into both intelligence and wisdom to be able to counteract the random changes in stats used by our DM, and which makes it more difficult. Whoa. I don't know what that was. I just hit an invisible wall there, I guess. But alright, with that, I am going to call it a day. So click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. I will talk to you later.